my co-founder, Christine, credit for the idea by mentioning a book by Adam Grant um, called Hidden Potential, um, a the science of achieving greater things. But he discussed in his book how a Harlem chess team went to the top of the school chess teams through this technique of peer coaching, which is a more formal way of helping each other review their games, comment, learn from each other. So yes, it did kick this off, and I'm very enthusiastic about being a peer coach. First of all, it instills a certain discipline to my own study of the game. The way I structure my peer coaching sessions is to have the student identify all of the reasonable plays. And some people early on in my game said that I was see a play, make a play kind of player. I hope I've gotten a little better than that. But it's important to see all the plays. In fact, I think some of the major mistakes are simply not seeing the right play. And the student I work with, once he sees the right, all of the plays, he knows which one is best. It's just failing to see the right place. So it instills into me a systematic, what are the options here to make sure that I see the plays. But really the best way to learn is to teach someone. And I think the best way to learn is by analyzing your mistakes. So I'm enthusiastic about peer coaching. I'm also enthusiastic about Backgammon Studio, Heroes Backgammon Studio, and something I didn't know about until a student I was helping told me about called consultation mode. That's where you get instant feedback. You enter a play and it tells you right away what the best play was. So I'm convinced that's helpful. The other things I get out of it are simply with a busy schedule, there's a discipline of just setting aside an hour every week to do this. I could sit down and play XG for an hour every week, but it's dull and it's discouraging because XG usually wins. So I much prefer to play a human and then get the feedback on the play. But the way I work with the student I'm mentoring now or coaching now is to set aside 10 a.m. on Thursday morning, where we will always spend an hour using this consultation mode on Backgammon Studio. And then finally, I would say it's just a great feeling when you see your student progress. I've been grappling with the difference between a teacher and a coach. And a teacher may structure lesson plans and try to get them across to you in a way that you will understand them and retain them. But a coach is more than that. A coach takes an interest in your progress and cheers you on when you're achieving different milestones, and props you up when you're in a plateau or a slump. They point you to other resources, but they care about you as a person and are committed to working with you to help you succeed. And simply being a teacher doesn't quite take that extra step. So that's why I get great joy out of doing it.
In a nutshell. Thank you. Okay, and then Melanie 2 years ago was a very beginner, and you have risen to the height of the intermediate division, and you're doing really well, and you're going to be her mentee today, or you're going to be working with Karen on the screen. I mean, how have you done that? People are always looking like, how do you go from an early beginner to an advanced intermediate in 2 years. Are you disciplined about it? You seem disciplined whenever I'm on a call with you, but
um, yeah, I'm a little obsessed actually. I think my husband would say I'm obsessive.
your words, not.
And so I try to learn something new every year and be a beginner at something, because I think it's very good for it to keep our brains active. And also it's a bit humbling, to be a beginner. And in the pandemic, I was struggling trying to find something new. I'd learned to play the flute, paddleboarding, diesel engine maintenance, sailing, you name it. I tried all different kinds of things, but the pandemic was more difficult. And I discovered backgammon online. And I discovered all these different resources. So, there are videos that teach you, everything from Backgammon is Beautiful to Backgammon Galaxy has videos. And also a lot of the matches that are played, if you have commentary and XG on the feed, you can learn a huge amount by just listening to what the commentators are saying and looking at the right moves. So that's been helpful for me. I play on Heroes consultation mode. And most recently, I've been taking lessons from Roberto Litzenberger, who's absolutely fabulous. And I have learned so much from him. And then this coaching idea was brought up recently, and Karen said, would you be interested in having a coach? And there's a guy called Jacob 80 who I've been working with, and he's been great. And what I like about this coaching setup is that it's not necessarily finding the right answer, because you can get to that in many different ways. It's the debate you have in order to get there. And, most of the time Jacob's right. Occasionally I'm right. But, we have these very spirited debates about, why. And I think it's the thinking it through to get you to the answer that, that is incredibly fruitful in terms of learning. And I think it's not one thing that you have to do if you want to improve. I think you've got to do it through a number of different avenues. I also do a lot of reading, Michi's books, Walter Trice's Boot Camp, and a few others. But that has been instructive. And the last thing I'll say is I've had the privilege to play doubles with some very good players, and again, you learn from them as you play. So a number of different avenues, and I get something different from each.
Right. No, it's really true. Actually, Mary and I are going to Boston, and we're going to play doubles together the weekend after next. And we played doubles together in DC and had a great time. So I highly recommend that. Now, Art is on the call. I'm going to ask you to unmute. I just want to say, we're going into our 3rd year, and Art was our first supporter who came on this Zoom. We had no idea how many people were going to show up. More than 40 did. Art has been such a supporter of Women's World of Backgammon, and this is a good time out, as we hit our 3-year mark, to say, thank you, Art, for helping us get started, truly.
Oh, thank you. My pleasure.
All right, now talk to me about mentoring and how you approach it. Is it different than Karen?
Karen's mentioning of the consultation mode gave Mary and I the idea to play our last match entirely on that mode. And I'm going to say, so we're playing a 5-point match, and Mary, we're still playing it, right? I mean, we had our 3rd hour today, and in 1 hour we played 1 or 2 games, and in another hour we played another game, and we were just talking through every move and having that debate as you described. And then we would look at the answer after we commit to a move. We look at the answer. Usually we're very happy that it agreed with everything we were talking about. And so it's been very educational, and for me as well, right? I don't normally think that much about every play when I'm playing, and this has really reinforced ideas for me. And yeah, no, it's really been kind of fun. It's great. You make a move and it doesn't ding you with an error, and you go, yay. Instead of waiting for the game, you even forget sometimes about plays you debated about. If it didn't give you an error, you forget you even had the debate, right? So you're getting immediate feedback on everything you're not 100% sure about, which is great.
And then there's that deep voice that says double error or what. I mean, it's just so offensive that you want to swear at it. Like, I heard you the first time. But anyway, we're going to get started. So Karen's going to share her screen and everybody's on mute, I think. So we're going to get started. And I think you're going to play a 5-point match. And she's going to show you how it works. Now, don't forget, if you are interested in getting a coach or being a coach, please put your notes in the comments section. Be bold. Everybody sign up to do and be a coach.
Okay, so I've logged into heroes.backgammonstudio.com. I always click on player to alphabetize the players. And I will find Melanie. And I will click on Melanie to set up a consultation match. So what you want to do is to make sure the match type is set a consultation match. Melanie, I think we may be better off with well, I don't know, we probably might have time for a 5-point match for sure, a 3. Do you have a preference?
I think 3 is fine, Karen.
Is good.
So we'll do a 3-point match. And then normally what happens is that you see that the standard clock is on, which might give you 120 seconds of reserve time and 10 seconds per play. But I always play these consultation match mode with the person I'm coaching with the clock turned off so that we have plenty of time to talk. Anything else? Melanie, are you ready to go?
I'm ready when you are, Karen.
So I'm going to hit challenge.
And I accept.
Okay, so one of the things, there are these little buttons here, and I've learned that the mortar board, those of us in academia recognize what graduates wear at commencement, but this is what I click on to follow the PR of our match. I could be seeing how many times they tell us, Heroes tells us we're awesome. I could see how many people are observing our luck rating, or how many people are observing our match. So there's different things, but I'm going to keep the PR clicked on. Okay, I need to get all this extraneous stuff out of the way if I can. Melanie, I think you've got the opening role.
I have. So with my opening role, my first instinct would be to play from the 13 down to the 8 and from 24 to 20. I could play 13, 8 and bring the 4 down as well, but that would be a very aggressive play that I would think about if I wanting a gammon. But really I'd like to get my back checkers split if possible, and bring some builders down into my side of the board.
Do you see any other plays?
Yes, I could run all the way out, but you know, if I get hit with a 3, I've lost my entire role here. I think it's I prefer the balanced playing of split and down.
Obviously, this is our first game, but the match score you see over here, 0-0. And actually, the match score might affect which one is best. I'm out of my territory here, so I may need Art Benjamin to help me. But This is normally what I would play for money play, splitting this or when the match is just starting or even like this. But Melanie, if you show us 2 down, you know, this might be better if I'm behind in the match and need to, or if Melanie's behind in the match and needs to quickly build her board. Because it helps her get points made. And if she's way ahead in a match, this running all the way, I know certainly with 6-4, I'm on better ground with 6-4 than 4-5, that 6-4 can be the right play running all the way if you're ahead in the match, and making the 2-point can be the right play if you need to get a gammon, and then splitting up and down can be the right play under normal match circumstances. So you're going to do this?
I am.
Okay. So I'm going to take a sneak peek at what Heroes thought of Melanie's play. They say it's the best play, that 2 down was 0.036 worse, and running all the way was 0.044 worse than the play that Melanie chose. But those are highlighted in green, which means, you know, small mistake, but no big deal. If she had done, and you notice those are the 3 plays she decided to focus on. If she had run 13-4, that would have been a blunder, and that's noted in yellow. So I want to get rid of that, which I do by, I forget whether it's clicking there or there. So she's still got a perfect PR with that play. So I'm going to roll, and I've got 3-5. So I'm going to make the 3-point. I could go all the way, or I could come up and down. But the standard opening play with the 3, oh, I could have hit.
Yeah.
You can hit. I think that's right.
So you thought the standard play was right?
No,
Or
I think hitting is right on the 5. I think the 5-3, you normally make the 3-point unless you can hit on the 5-point.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, there we've already learned something. Okay, then, well, if our Benjamin.
We'll see. I'm known to be wrong, but it won't be wrong by much. We'll see.
Okay. Well, they thought we were awesome, Art, and indeed, that was the #1 roll, and making the point would have been a 0.03 error, not much, but a little bit.
Right.
Fantastic. Thank you, Art.
Sure.
Okay. Well, I'm going to come in and hit you back, because anything else I think would be a blunder.
Okay. Since we agree with that, I don't hear it say awesome, but that's because only, as you say, Melanie, anything else would have been a blunder.
Yeah, I think it's only commenting on your plays, Karen, not mine.
Okay, 5-1. Well,
We're having a blot hitting contest. We both want that your 5-point, my 20-point. Okay, and here we are again. I am inclined to want to hit 2 here, for a couple of reasons. One is your 5-point and my 5-point are both very valuable, and putting 2 on the bar, they say, is better by far. So that would be my my play.
again, great play. Keeping her. But here I'm likely to get this right because it's a forced move. So over to you, Melanie.
Okay. So, well, I think the first thing I want to do is think about covering my making my 5 point. So that would be a priority for me. And then for my 2, I don't really want to play the 20 out because it's coming under fire from with 6s and 1s. Where if it stays where it is, I get a return shot if you hit there. But I'd like to bring another checker down into the zone here, so allow me to keep building my board, and it's out of direct range of any of these back checkers. So that's really the play that I'm thinking about, Karen.
Well, it looks good to me. I've got 4 checkers back here, so that helps Melanie make the 7 point, even the 9 point. So bringing her ammunition in certainly seems right.
Okay. Yep.
Wow. Wow. So I'm in big trouble. So, one play is this. The race you can see from these numbers here. Even if I do this, I'm 30 behind in the race. And there's an expression that says, if you're behind in the race, don't race. So my other plays are something like this, or something like this, or something like this. And I think of all of those, I'm going to do this. If she doesn't hit me, then I've got good ammunition to make a point. Probably she'll be gone and it won't be on her head, but she's got good 4s over there, 2 4s, 4 6, 4 1. So some of those numbers she might not even hit me if she rolls them. So I'm going to try this.
Yes. Okay.
So far we played flawlessly, Melanie.
I'm just about to mess that one up. Okay, so I've got a few options here. I could run with the back checker and get that one out of the way, but I think you're going to want to attack this checker here on the 20 point. So if I were to bring that round, leaves me 2 blots out here. If you don't hit me with a 6, this would be a great, this would be a really nice builder, but it does leave 2 checkers exposed.
I think Larry's a little bit concerned that nobody's talking about doubling before you roll the doubles at all. I mean, before you roll the dice.
Oh,
yes, I was going to mention that. Should be every roll's a cube decision.
yes.
So do you think you should have doubled? It's too late now, but
No, I don't think my position is strong enough yet. I know you got 4 back, but I still got these 2 back checkers back here. I don't have an anchor. I think it might be getting close to a cube. Might be getting close to a cube, but I don't think I'm there yet. I could be wrong.
Melanie, I didn't hear you mention one other option. So anything else?
I'm actually, I haven't finished that with that. I was thinking there's a 6 and a 5 here.
That was the one.
Yeah, that was going to be my next. And I think as I look at this, I like this one best. It leaves fewest blots. And even if you hit me from your midpoint onto the 15, you're having to break your midpoint to do that. So because you don't have a spare checker on it. So I think probably that's going to be my play.
I want to chime in that I do think it was a double this turn.
You know,
Um, uh, I think, you know, if we go back to the position and ask yourself with the Pratt criteria, position, race, and threats, how are you doing? You know, you can, after asking it, then you can decide whether to double or not. But does white have a superior position? That usually means a stronger inner board. And I think the answer is definitely yes. You know,
yeah.
I'd give that like 3/4 of a point, maybe more, out of a possible one. Race, absolutely. White's got a full racing advantage. That's two. Right there, it means double. What about threats?
Yeah,
You
a
know,
better
if you-
board, threats, and a substantial racing advantage, yes.
You've got
So
gammons here. Yeah, we didn't even gammons. You make the 7 point. They got 4 checkers behind a 4 prime. So there definitely are threats there.
Mm.
So I think of all that, you know, plus some direct shots here. I think it was definitely a double. Maybe a take because it's a little early. Maybe you don't get full, you know, position. Maybe it's 3/4 of a point for position. Maybe it's a little less than 1 for threats. You throw in gammons. I think it's the take decision that's borderline, not the double one.
Ah,
So we'll find out
at the end of the game, yeah.
whenever Melanie makes a cube decision, we'll find out if she missed an opportunity here. But good point by whoever raised that in the audience,
Yes.
and good
Larry did, yeah.
analysis
To
by
be
Art.
frank, I was so busy thinking about my moves, I'd forgotten to think about doubling. Okay.
It's interesting, Melanie, that your first instinct was hitting loose on the 3, and it turns out that edged out just a tiny bit. The move we both thought was best going out. They're basically equivalent.
Yeah.
And
I still
some of
prefer
the
it. Yeah, I still prefer this move. Yeah.
Leslie Lockett wants to say, what about hitting with the 5? You don't want her to make that point on your board.
Hitting with the 5.
yes, that turned out to be the #1 play.
Yes.
So
Right.
good point. Okay, thank goodness. Well, not that. 1, 2. Anybody plays with Studio knows that if you click on the spot, they go to the spot. So you have to be careful to click right on the checker. I'm going to try giving myself a board rather than moving up here. That would, but I definitely am grabbing this anchor instead of getting 2 points. So all of those were useful plays. Okay.
Okay. So, talking about cubing, I've now got 2 anchors. But I do have we both have 2-point boards. I do have a good opportunity to make the 4 the bar point, or to escape my back checker. So it actually now probably a weaker position than last time, but now I feel like I ought to double.
Well, if I can speak.
Yeah, please do, Art, anytime.
So the question is always one of market losers too. You know, can you lose your market? And now that she's made the 2nd point in her board,
Yeah.
she has a viable back game, right?
Yeah, she does.
Not ideally timed, you know, to have a good back game, a 1-3 back game, she'd want to be like 60 pips behind in the race. She's only about 40 pips behind in the race. So the timing isn't ideal. And so maybe it's a double for that reason, is that she has, even though she's playing a back game, it's not a perfectly timed back game, you see. Um, uh, Generally, if she were playing a perfectly timed back game, the time to double is when you're about to clear the third point in front of their forward anchor. And that's a long time from now.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
But it could be a double if the computer is saying it's a back game, but not a great back game.
Mhm. My coach taught me something, and I thought it was worthwhile mentioning about back games, which is if you add together the 2 points, so the 3 point, the 1 point, call that and make that four, and then multiply it by 10, so 40, and then deduct it from 135. It gives you the timing for their back game, so it should be around about 90 pips according to his formula. That she needs to be behind. So
and that would be the ideal timing. And then the question is, what's the minimum timing you need to take?
Okay.
And Mochi has a table where I believe the number for the 1-3 back game is 59 pips.
Oh, interesting.
So
I'm going to
that
that
is
table
unique.
out. Excellent.
Yeah. For every pair of points, I'll bet you can even find it online. Mochi has a back game he gave a 1-hour talk on back games. And in that talk, he puts out a little chart that lists for every 2 points what the minimum timing you need for that pair of points. And I've memorized that because
Great.
and for the 1-3, it's 59.
Okay.
And so Karen's at 40. Now, does that mean
Yeah.
it's a drop? If it were just if all she had was back game equity, yes. But she has other equity. She might be able to contain your checker on the 24. That's worth something. So
Okay. You've talked me out of it.
oh, well, again, it might be a double because of her poor timing. That's all I'm saying.
Now I'm doubting myself. Okay, but I'm going to roll.
All right, it could be a double though.
Okay. Well,
Why 59? Why not 60? I mean, why does it have to be 59?
I know. Well, that's why I said 60 originally, because I didn't want to sound too nerdy. But the actual number is 59.
You know, I think I haven't gotten to it yet, but the last chapter of Mochi's book with Mark Olson called Backgammon World Class is on the back game. And I'm sure Mochi has all of his formulas in that chapter. He wrote an article many years ago for Primetime Backgammon on the back game. And again, had these same calculations of how far behind in the race do you need to be to make a success of different kinds of back games. But I suspect if you looked at that book by Mochi, the last chapter on the back game, you'd find these answers.
And there's a new book that just came out, which I haven't read yet, by Alex Ashegian, which is all about the back game. So looks like it's a very thorough book.
Yeah. He has a great channel as well, by the way. So okay. So 3-1. I think the best move for me here is to get my blot on the 15 out of the way. Because I don't think Karen is going to want to break her anchor to hit me, and it provides another builder for the 7 point, or these other, or the 9 and 10 point. And I don't really want to step up too far with my checker back on the 24, because I don't want Karen to jump on it. So that's my rationale for this play. Any commentary? Good. Okay, we're going to hit confirm. And
Well, one of the things you'll note is that none of our plays are shaded in yellow or red. It's amazing to me that we could be playing 6 roles into this without a major mistake. But Melanie did pick the right play with that 3-1. Okay, well, I definitely am not doubling since I'm behind, but now I'm at a total loss. So since I told myself the best thing is seeing all the plays, this is one play where instead of the poorly timed 1-3 back game, I try a 3-4 back game that doesn't require, we don't know whether it's 59 pips, but whatever,
It's 37.
37. And I'm right on the I'm 38, right on the cusp of being able to pull off that kind of a back game. But then there are other plays. If I really wanted to contain that checker, I could do this. I could make my own bar point, or there's also oops, I did something wrong somewhere. I could turn it into this kind of a game. And there's also making the 2 point and bringing 2 in and 2 down, but I don't think any of those are strong compared to this. So I'm going to try this one. Let me just look at this. This maintains the contact and makes it harder for Melanie to clear this bar. And it kind of smooths out that. So when I look at it, I kind of talk myself into it. How does that compare with 2-9? This has more of a feeling of a prime. The problem is I can't hold much of anything. I'm going to try this.
I liked your 13, yeah, the 7 point.
Well,
Did
it was
it
a
come up? I
blunder.
wonder if you're
Like
supposed
the
to make the
18.
18. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked the 18 play.
Only because again, you're just a little bit too far forward to play a back game. You'd really hate to be primed, but even with the 3-4 game. You make the 18, now you're playing something like a holding game. That allows you to release the checkers on the midpoint.
Yeah. So what I did was a 0.054 error,
Yeah.
not a blunder, but an error. First one to make a bad move.
You guys are
Okay.
playing great.
So I'm not going to double this for a couple of reasons. One is now this back game is a lot better time because Art just told me. and secondly, I can't make my board with those 4 and 3 points made, and I still need to escape that back checker. So to me, this does not feel like a double. And I don't think I've got market losers at all right now. Okay, so that's my I want to roll. Okay. I'd love to come up with my back checker, but I'm worried about getting pounced upon by Karen and pointed on. So I'm not going to do that. I think what I'm going to do is play the 3 out and then the 2 down, because I want to keep some coverage of this of this quadrant here. And I know it's stripping my midpoint, but I feel that's the best plan I can see right now.
Yeah, anything else?
That means you don't like that play.
No, the alternative, I'm glad you weren't playing 11-6, because I think the best way to beat a back game is to prime it. So
Yeah.
you would love to make that 7-point, even if it means leaving a shot on the midpoint. So I think you want to keep, I like the 13-11 play, and I'm not sure about the 3, how much you should be afraid of scooting up to the 21. Think of it
Yeah.
this way. If they make the 4-point, that's a pretty good roll for them, even if you're still on the ace point.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's only gonna get harder to get that checker out, so
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
now's the time.
That's
Okay.
my play. That's my
I was
play.
being a chicken. Okay, let's see what.
But you are right. Karen will have no qualms about pounding on that checker this turn. But still, your best way of winning is by scooting
All
up.
right, let's see what they say. Yeah, you guys are right. Let's see what my
Could have come up to and then taken the checker. But
Yeah.
you wanted to dump a checker from 5 to 2, which just,
That was too big, too much.
well, it's moving a checker behind the action.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
you didn't do that. You did great play.
With a little help from my friends.
That misplay of mine on the double 3 has hurt my PR. Melanie's got a near perfect PR. Okay, 6-2. Well, as Art says, I might pound. The question is really whether I keep the 3-4 back game or whether I switch toward more of a containment plan. If I do this, I give her 7s and 1s and 4s.
But that could improve your timing. I mean, if you are in back game mode, you're not so afraid of being hit in a way that improves your
Oh,
timing.
I'm always afraid of being hit.
Except when you're playing a back game, and then it's like, bring it on, right?
And I tell myself it's the optimistic nature that I have, that I always think how I can win going forward.
Well, that's why I'm saying go forward. I'm saying that you're giving yourself flexibility. If you play 13-7 and they miss you, then you can maybe win forward. And if they hit you, it improves the timing of your back game.
I really know I want to go out, but
Well, you're the captain here. So
Okay.
are we
Alright.
glad that we listened to Art?
Yeah.
Wow.
I want to have
It
you by
would
my
have been
side
a
whenever I
great
play.
seminar to have gone in.
Okay, so I'm still don't feel like I'm in a position to double this yet. So I'm gonna roll. And let's see, I think I have to hit on the 4, and then I think I'm just gonna bring one down from the 13 to the 11, because the 13 point's not doing a lot for me right now, and want to minimize my shots, and the only checker that's pointing on it is that 12. So that's my planned play. Any comment, Karen?
I don't know, looks good to me. Art?
yeah, it looks good to me. They've got a good ace already in the form of hitting you from
Yes.
5 to 4 anyway. So it's a very well duplicated ace.
Yeah.
I go with your play.
Wow, lots of good ways.
Mm.
I think I like having a checker up to spring out. I could obviously come in on the 1 and hit with the 4, or come in on the 4 and hit with this one. But I feel like I'm moving ammunition into the front game that I already said I wanted.
And you still can win a front game. I mean, back games are to be avoided, actually, you know, so if you've got a good front game possibility, I think this does allow you to win by going forward if it works out. So
Yep, was the right play.
Okay, well, I'm not doubling for the same reasons as last time. So I come in on the 1, and I think I'd like to try and get out of there with 1 checker. Oh, because I'm trying to race home at this point. So if I get missed, I mean, I know the 3 isn't really duplicated with anything, but I just want to try and get out of that is my plan.
and if you stay behind, you have other big things to worry about, like being pointed on the 4-point. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
hitting, you don't want to be hit, but even worse would be if they pointed at you on the 4-point. So,
Yeah, because then they make their next best point while they
Mhm.
get to go back on the bar. Yes. Okay, so
And again, Melanie played perfectly.
and she still hit me and made a good point.
Mhm.
Okay. And I am coming out for the same reasons as last time, because I'll be on that point that she next wants to make. So that's I don't think I have a lot of options here. That's, I think, feels pretty obvious.
Again, perfect play. I can't see hitting on the 1 or bearing a checker way down here, so I'm just gonna
But
go.
what about slotting the 4, maybe, Karen? Consider it at least.
Oh,
Okay. So I go out with a 6. I wouldn't have thought of that arc. Good option. A lot of times they say play pure when you don't have enough checkers to say make the prime. Here, I give her 1s, 5s, and 3s. But if she doesn't get a 3, then I'm in good shape.
yeah.
And you're playing a back, you do have the back game, and getting hit would improve your timing for it. So it's like you're making the flexible play rather than committing to
Well, we're making the awesome play, thanks to Art.
Okay. So I get to hit you. And I'm just going to bring that checker in, I think. Hang on, let me undo it a second. Is there anything else? I mean, if you were to hit me, you'd have to use the checker on a 4-point and break your. But I don't really. The only other option would be to play this. Hang on. Yeah, I feel like I want to tidy up a little bit and not have blots floating around. So that's my play. I'm not hearing any
looks good to me.
massive dissent, so I'm going to hit the confirm button.
Well, this wasn't my favorite play, favorite role. But I don't see how I can afford to give up the 3 and 4, so I'm not going to do that. So let's speed it up a little bit, Melanie. We're taking up time.
All right, rolling. Oh, that's
Oh, I didn't mean to speed it up like that.
Well, I rather liked that roll, I have to say. Okay.
The last ace, though, you might play 11 to 10.
Oh, yes. Yes, you're right. Because really what I like to try and do is make my 7. If I can. Yeah. Yep, you're right. I was thinking it looked pretty by making, putting 4 on both of them, but you're right. That would be good. Okay. Thank you, Art. Oh, I didn't like that.
Oh. Too much time? Did you give her too much timing?
Yes, I did. Oh, and it was horrible. Yes, it's a blunder.
Where is
So-
your play?
I
We
just
can't
couldn't-
find it.
So
Yes.
here,
I just couldn't help myself.
yeah, there it is. It was only a 0.08 blunder, so it was a minimum blunder.
It was still a blunder. Yeah.
But the lesson is the way to beat a back game is to prime it. And the best point in a prime is 6 points away from their leading anchor.
Ah, yes, yes, yes.
And so they've got that 4 point. If you can make, by shifting those 3 checkers to the 10 point, you are, you're helping your prime in the best way.
Yeah, and just let me crunch. Yeah.
Let her crunch a little and then go 6 to 5 so that you don't help the timing at all.
Mm.
Okay, over to you, Melanie.
All right. So I'd like to hop out and cover that 6 point, which the 10 point, which is 6 points away, I think. But let me just undo that. Is there anything else? I mean, there's another play which is stopping you from making the third anchor, which I know is valuable. Yeah, actually, I kind of like this play.
Could be right. I'm not sure. I'm going to confess to not being sure.
So I kind of like this play because I feel like if once she's got 3 anchors, I'm going to be really forced into
You really don't want to give her a third anchor.
Yeah, so I'm going to do this.
Okay.
No, I liked my first play. And I'm wondering about a re. Because I think at some point I want to want that 7 point.
Maybe not, because it is a point you're going to have to break.
Yeah.
There comes a point where you're not going to crack her timing anymore. So that
Yeah,
7 point could become a liability, believe it or not.
Yeah. The only other play then really, because I suppose there is the 11 to 8, but we said we kind of liked having that 0.6 away.
Not the 11 point. 11 point's not helping you.
The 11 point, the 11 point's not helping me. Sorry, I'm confused now. I was thinking the 11 point's not helping me. Okay. So you'd have said, what are you saying?
Cover the 2 point.
Yeah.
And I think going 11 to 8, you want to start clearing those checkers.
Okay, I see.
It might even be right to go 8 to 5. I mean, really clearing those checkers so that, you're not going to give her a double shot. Right now she's got 2 on the bar, so you can take advantage of that. On the other hand, you do still have a blot on the 21 point. You can't pretend like it's not there. So
As much as I'd like to. Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to need part of your roll to escape, so you can't get too loosey-goosey. Whatever play you'd like. I'm not going to.
Anyway, we need to move.
And we
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm going to do this. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, roll. So I want to come out and I quite like to hit on the one, but I'm not sure whether that's right or not. Because I'd like to make that point.
I'm not sure you do.
Yeah.
She's not threatening to make the point. I think you want to bring your checkers in safely and not get hit. Karen, maybe 24, 21, yeah.
Thank you.
I can bring this one in and it leaves me even on the outside. It doesn't have to give me a lot of flexibility, but I think this is right.
I like it.
I want to get a checker to here.
Mhm.
Okay.
And now we do have to, now we start thinking about the rule I mentioned earlier about when to double. All right.
Yeah, so when you've cleared the one that was 3 away from the leading checker.
When you're threatening to clear 3 away. So right now it's 4 away. So I wouldn't double this turn, but maybe next turn. Karen, you can make the 3-point, right?
Yes, I see that now. I could have. And another example of playing too fast, I jumped 2 out immediately, another one out, and then came down. But as Art mentioned, and as I saw from the analysis, I could have made this point rather than bringing a builder in.
Whoa, make the 3.
Seeing all plays is half of the battle.
Yeah.
Hang on.
I really want to make this 7 rather than an inside point.
I
Mm-hmm.
feel like my position's a little brittle here, so I'm not going to double.
Right. That's what Karen's been waiting for.
Any other plays?
Probably
Any
better to
other-
clear the 8
Sure,
than
yeah.
the 7, right?
Any other plays?
Well,
Oh.
sorry.
Haha.
Oh yeah, sorry.
There you go.
Yay!
I completely missed it. Thank you, Karen and Benjamin. Art, I mean.
Well, we all have blind spots. We all
Yeah,
have blind
sure.
spots.
Sure. Pause
Okay,
now.
and,
Pause.
what is the mantra here, Melanie, after pulling yourself together?
When I look like I'm going to clear the point 3 away from the leading checker in the back game,
Yeah.
I should think about doubling.
The mantra is every roll is a new cube decision.
Oh, okay, yes, that too. Yeah. So I don't know. You've got a 4-point board over there, and I'm still I could leave a double shot here.
Good.
And so I don't feel like I should cube yet.
But you're also
Okay.
being a little pessimistic in that you've got combinations of 1s, 2s, 5s, and 6s, which will clear that 7 point. That's 16 numbers right there.
Uh,
Right? So that
Yeah.
only means only 20 times out of 36 do you leave a shot. And she hits that shot a little over half the time, but that brings you down to about 10 out of 36. You have to
Okay.
both leave the shot and get hit. Right?
Yeah.
Not only and then you have to lose. You might hit the checker on the 2 point.
Yeah, and there's some gammons here probably too.
Right? Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
So
She
with
is.
gammons, it probably makes it even more of a like, okay, I am persuaded out.
I think if we just follow that rule of thumb, and
Yeah.
she's got great timing, but that's why she's going to take.
Yeah.
But
That's a great new rule I learned from you today. That 3 point, that clearing the 3 point and away from
Yeah.
the leading.
It's a good. It's a very good rule. It's a very good rule.
Thank you. That's another one to add to my little arsenal of tactics.
You want to take a quick look at the double here? Well, I guess you'll see that in a turn or two.
Yes, now we will. It would be a 1.77 blunder not to double.
The other thing about the way that Heroes works, if she should have doubled earlier, you would have seen all these little arcs all the way down. And
Mm.
Art, she did not apparently have a double before this, so
Mhm.
that's
Actually-
Actually, Karen, you don't see that until the end of the game.
That till the end of the game. You don't see it till
Yeah.
the end of the game. They don't want to tip you off to make you double the next time. So you have to go back and look at the end of the game to see whether
Oh,
you
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. And that was a nice roll.
Right. And by the way, you'll notice that from this position, it would have been a pass, right? And you'd recognize that as a pass.
Yes, yes.
So that's why you had to double before you lost your market.
That's great. Yeah.
I like I like saving the gammon, kind of. You're gonna be running that. You're not getting a shot next turn no matter what. So there's no point in hanging out on the 4 point. No. I'd keep one checker back, but I think I wouldn't. I don't think you need both checkers back.
Oh.
And the gammon is saved. Just barely.
No,
know,
by now, I mean,
I almost feel like I should give the gammon to close this out, but
okay, I did miss a few doubles there actually. If we go back, I missed several. I missed four doubles.
oh my, I thought.
Yep, I missed 4.
So
Yeah,
So
Christine,
I jumped up to 7.5.
so I don't know what to do here, Christine. We're obviously out of time.
The nice thing about Heroes is you can just exit the game and recontinue another time. That's what Mary and I have done in our 5-point match, which has gone 3 lessons.
Are you available, Melanie, after this is over, just to finish up?
Oh yes, absolutely.
I can stay on and leave the room open if anybody wants to stay. But I just want to say there have been a number of comments about how helpful this has been. but it also will teach you how to be a mentor and how to be a mentee. It really is an exchange of information. And it's great. So thanks everybody for being here. And if you need to leave, nobody's left, but if you need to leave, you know, if you guys want to finish out the game, we'll leave it on.
Okay, well, we'll finish it up and maybe move along a little more quickly. So it's your play, Melanie.
Okay.
You need to win this so that we can finish.
Okay, I'm doing the standard opening.
No pressure.
Yeah, I never win when I play Karen, just so everybody knows. I have this okay. I am going to make my anchor because I'm ahead and I want to have that safety.
Boy, it didn't like my 6-4. Oh, ha ha. Talk about seeing all plays. I didn't see the simple hit.
So I'm going to make my bar point because making a point is better than hitting loose, as Michi would say. I'm going to bring 2 down here to give me some.
Are there any other plays? I could come round and hit. That's probably the right thing. I tend to hang on to my anchors a little bit too long. So that's probably the better play. The other play is a bit too conservative. Okay, I'm going for it. And of course you were right. Oh, actually, they're both right. Yeah. This is the Crawford game, by the way, so that's why it's going ahead and rolling quickly. What the Crawford game means is that we can't double.
I feel like I want my anchor over there. I have to hit you because I'm behind. So I'm going to come down and come out 1 because I don't want to get into hitting distance of you.
I feel like if she doesn't get a 5, I might make that point, and then I've got a prime and 5-point prime, and she's not on the edge. But then again, she's got a 5-point prime, even if I am on the edge. Okay.
And you hit me. Oh no, you didn't hit me.
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Well, I'm going to hit you. And
It liked the hit.
did it? Oh,
Only by a
It
10.
was kind of equivalent, but
I'm going to do this, I think. I feel like I have, I've got a choice. I can come up with to the edge of the prime, which I'd like to do. Or alternatively, I could hit and come in. So you've got a bunch of checkers back there now. It gives me some time. I feel like I have to come up.
The thing about hitting is you're also improving. Hitting takes away some timing from them. In the form of the time it takes them to crack.
Right.
Danny Kleinman said in one of his books, at the risk of sounding politically incorrect, always hit homeless refugees, which was hit the checkers in the outer board against
Yeah.
and your opponent might be playing a back game or something.
Yeah, I'd like to double hit actually on that play. I was just struggling a little bit with coming up to the edge of that prime. The part of me that likes this to keep that 5 prime, but I don't know whether that's right or not. I don't really want to break it though. That was wrong.
I liked it.
You liked it?
Yeah.
9 to 3 too. Yeah, I thought about the 9 to 3 too, but I feel like that was my best. That's my best asset.
Don't really know what to do with the 5.
Well, here's an important question. Does Karen care about getting gammoned this game?
No.
She should have.
No, we're at Crawford. Melanie is at 2 and only needs 1 more point, so.
Neither of you care about the gammon. It's like DMP.
Exactly.
So it would have hit on the,
I
but
think
I like
do-
having her crack here, that's for sure.
I need that 6.
There you go.
Oh. My prayers were answered.
Awesome.
Well, I'm afraid that's it.
Good match.
I'm gonna resign.
I had a lot more luck than you.
Well, let's check that out. We often say that.
Well, I did though. It's
Okay, so
yes.
at the end of every match, it's really important to stare at this little box. So first of all, in terms of PRs, I did wind up with a 3.77 PR. Melanie, very respectable 6. And then, so there's her luck factor, basically a 2, and I'm even. She won 3-0. In terms of ELO rating, I had a slightly better ELO rating. I always hit the save match, and then the drop down up here, I take that match and I put it where I save all of my heroes matches, which I tend to do in my Dropbox. I go to something I call XG as a folder, and I go to 2024, and I go to heroes, and I save this match. And then after I get off, I will run it through XG at a ++ level and get a refinement of that. But the other thing you can do is hit review, and then go up here and see our mistakes. We see her first cube mistake was a double pass when the position looked like this. And then I did not make a good play of double threes. They wanted me to make the bar and contain or back check her. And instead I came up with these two and in with these two. So that was one of my bigger checker mistakes. Here, they did not like her picking up my blots, but just making this point. Anyway, you can go back through the match afterwards and to kind of understand more about where you went wrong. But I think I had one, I thought I had a blunder. I'm not seeing it. I had 1, 2, 3, 4 yellow arrows, and I don't pay much attention to the 2 green arrows. And Melanie, her double ones play was really the only play that
Check.
was a blunder. And she's got
not doubling when you had a poorly timed back game were the others.
Yeah, I had a couple of blunders through not doubling. Yeah.
Anyway, that's what there is to among the things to learn. The other thing I wanted to just quickly note for people, I often go into this private database area, and it's my own data, and I can get a graph of my PR and consultation matches over the last year and see how much playing in consultation mode has helped bring down my PR. I can go down here to training tracks, and I can go through the 85 mistakes I made on the opening reply and figure out how, and they will quiz me. It's like a pop quiz. They will ask me, how do I play this 3-1 on the opening? There's no way I could have goofed up this as an opening play. Of course, it's I got it right. Awesome. Anyway, it's a way of practicing. So what we will do is have a special session. We'll try to get Melanie to come back and team her up with Roberto Litzenberger and show you more about all the ways that you can use Backgammon Studio to improve your game. So
Actually, while you were playing, Karen, we just commandeered Art Benjamin to do an hour on Heroes. So we'll do a session maybe at the end of the month if Art will do it.
Oh, okay, great.
And thank you very much to both Karen and Art. I learn something whenever I have one of these kind of coaching sessions. And so I appreciate both of your input. It was fabulous.
Yeah, and as always, I learn, I make mistakes too. And the thing that convinced me to be a coach was knowing that Heroes was going to indicate what the right play was. I didn't feel like I knew enough, didn't feel like I was perfect enough to be a coach, and that I might lead the student astray and suggest the wrong thing or overlook a good play. But now I can count on Heroes to correct my mistakes and make sure that I don't leave the student with a wrong takeaway. But then what I can provide to an extent I'm able is what Art did so brilliantly tonight, and that's explain the why of why was that the right play. I particularly liked his explaining why Melanie shouldn't have scooped up with her double ones, my blots. And I was so hesitant to leave those blots. So it's a great learning tool. I just can't say enough about it. Thank you.
Thanks for coming, everyone. Enjoy.
Thanks, Karen.
And to volunteer to be a coach. We need more coaches. So get the word out with your friends, and we have we'll send out the video of today's recording. And we will also set up on our website where you can volunteer to be a coach. And thanks to Art and others, all of you, for joining us, and to Art for being a peer coach. So thank you as always for your enthusiasm and support.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Christine.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Very, very informative. Loved it.
Good
Thanks
night,
for being
everyone.
here,
Thanks for
Carrie.
taking time out of your day.
Good job, Melanie. Lots of pressure.